Comrade Rosa and Saltaire. Comrade Rosa going home the better, and Comrade Rosa beat
Welcome
Saltaire.
to this week's edition of the Final Gallop. It is episode 315, and as always is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. This week we're going to preview our runners for Tattersall's Classic Raceday at Doomben on Saturday. Morning, Tony. The summer carnival is underway, and it was great to land a winner straight away with Transatlantic last week.
Yeah, good morning, Claire. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it was good to get a winner. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Swiss Ace again, but I think the track conditions probably didn't really play to our favour there. Transatlantic was really good. He's a nice horse. He's had a little bit of an ownership change in there, so there's been some guys that have jumped into him that are going to be well rewarded. He heads to the Gateway now, which is a race we have won previously twice on two occasions, and he's as good a chance as any horse I've taken to it. So looking forward to seeing him step up as the summer unfolds, and then obviously we've got a really big team in this weekend.
Absolutely, but before we move on to that, how is Antino ahead of his flight to Hong Kong for the Group 1 mile on the 8th of December?
Yeah, he's terrific. He put on good weight in his 5 days or 6 days off at Full Moon. He come back in, he ticked over on Tuesday. He's going to do a nice piece of work at Cranbourne on Saturday morning in company with one of Kieran's, and then he gets on the plane next Monday. So he's holding weight nicely as well, which is good because he will lose a little bit on the trip over there. But we've got him, I'm really confident we've got him just where we want him to get him on that plane. When we get him there, it's all just about settling him in and just ticking him over towards the race. Obviously, he's very fit, and everything we get back on him now is just so consistent. His recoveries, his stride lengths, everything about him is right where he needs to be, where he has been as well for the last 8 weeks.
Okay, now on to the preview of our runners for Doomben on Saturday. The rail is in the true position. The track is currently a heavy 10 with some showers forecast over the next couple of days. Do you think we are any chance of getting back to a soft?
I hope so. I don't know. We have had a lot of rain. The bulk of it was a bit earlier, but we did get a pretty good downpour. Like Tuesday was a pretty grim day. Yesterday there wasn't a lot of rain, but there's no drying conditions. The breeze is meant to pick up. I really hope we miss any showers today and tomorrow. If we get another 5 mil, it'll probably hold us in that heavy range somewhat. I don't think it's without the realms of possibility we get back to an 8.
Okay.
Whether we can get to a 7, I'm not sure.
Okay, we kick off in race 1, which is the cutest 2-year-old handicap over 1,200 metres. Lbaboom will run with 57.5 kilos. Angela Jones in the saddle, barrier 4. She's paying $3.70 to win and $1.55 for the place. She's set for a second start after a promising third on debut 4 weeks ago. The strongest of the closers in that race. Yeah,
it looks like she's crying out for the 1,200. There's no doubt about that. She's done really well. A couple of pieces of work she's done have both been really sharp, quite fit. I thought her work Tuesday was really good. She's had the luxury of trialling on a heavy track. There's very few 2-year-olds have seen heavy ground. Her and about one other, I think, in this race have. So she's lucky enough to have trialled on it. She was very adequate in that trial. We saw the improvement first day at the races, and she's improved again. So she's a very good chance early in the card for us.
Okay, in race 2, the 1 Metro win handicap over the mile, we have Torabella. She'll carry 53.5 kilos with Emily Lang's 2 kilo claim, and she's drawn barrier 4. She's paying $3.20 to win and $1.50 for the place. Third up on Saturday and was an impressive winner last start at Doomben over the 13.50. Gets to the mile and did win at this track and trip on a soft 6 last prep.
Couldn't be happy with her. I don't think ground will worry her too much. She'll race 4 to the speed, whether she leads or she box seeks like she did the other day. Depends on what happens around her, but she's very versatile. In for a terrific summer, this horse. I think she can go to a nice level during the summer, and I think this race she's just beautifully well placed. The handicapper can't really get at her here. She gets in nicely at the weight. It's Emily's claim, 53.5 kilos on the back, well drawn, handles soft ground. She's awfully well placed. Okay,
we go to race 3 now, which is the benchmark 70 handicap over the 1,600 metres. Luda VC will run in this with 57.5 kilos. Jimmy Orman on board, barrier 10. He's paying $11 at the moment to win and $3.50 for the place. Was close to his first win for our stable last start when a close third at Eagle Farm over the 1,500 metres, and the mile should suit him.
Yeah, the mile will suit. Cutting the ground definitely suits as well. They're all pluses. The 70 benchmark grade and the Saturday, I'm just a bit iffy with him. I do think he's a good chance for multiples. I think this will probably be his best run. He's been crying to get out to the mile. Good strong male senior on him, I think, is a plus as well. He ticks boxes each way. I preferred him in the 68 on Wednesday that was washed out, unfortunately. But look, he's still a top 3 chance.
Okay, race 5 is Class 2 plate over 1,200 metres. We have 2 in this. We'll start with Boom Shot. He'll carry 60 kilos. Jimmy Orman rides barrier 10. He's paying $9.50 to win and $3.20 for the place. Third up after a couple of really solid performances to start his preparation. Last start at this track and trip, he flew home for a very good 4th.
Yeah, I thought he was unlucky last start. John Rambo lost the rider, then got in this horse's road when he wanted to get into the race and cut the corner, and he sort of had to come wide and make ground on a very, very slow tempo. His closing sectionals were terrific. Yeah. This will be run far more up tempo. He's been racing in midweek races, rails out, slow run, sprint home. This is different. Big field. Looks to be good pressure on from the get-go. He will be in the second half of the field, but he's got a big finish on him. He'll run really good, this horse, and soft to heavy doesn't really worry me with him.
Okay, the second runner we have is Gospel Girl, 58 kilos. Angela Jones rides barrier 14. She's paying $10 to win and $3.30 for the place. She did return to the winner's stall last start over the 1,200 metres at the Sunny Coast. Drops at 2 kilos, but does have a bit of a tricky draw.
Both her runs back have been good. First up, she knocked up and ran into a really good form race. Then she had a little tiny setback, so she was a bit new in condition going to Sunny Coast. You see she was going to win quite easy and just peak late and still got the job done. She's much improved off that. Soft ground's not a problem for her. She's by Epaulet. She'll love soft to heavy. Her racing pattern is so good that she can bounce and find a spot. I can't see why she doesn't get a good run in the top 5. The gate doesn't concern me. I think she'll negate that quite well. Really good each way chance in the race. Both those two are going terrific. It just depends on how the race is run. So I'm just not going to bother splitting them. I think their form tells you they're not far apart. And I quite like the race. It's a really good race, that class too. It's a good betting race to have on a summer carnival card.
Okay. Race 6 is the fillies and mares benchmark 78 handicap over the 1,110 metres. We have 5 runners in this. We'll start with Skirt the Law. She'll carry 61 kilos with Emily Lang's 2 kilo claim. She's drawn barrier 2. She's paying $5.50 to win and $2.20 for the place. She does make a return for a summer campaign and has had 2 trials to get ready for this.
Yeah, she has. The second trial at Sunshine Coast was not as good as the one at Deagon, I didn't feel, but the ground was very, very much changing.
Yeah.
I think like a heavy 8 or better track here, she'll handle. I think she get maps to get a really nice run here. There's good speed. She'll just lob on the back of that speed. She'll give herself every chance. Could she blow out late? If the track's probably into the light, low, heavy range, she might.
Yeah.
But she's definitely the class act here. There's no doubt.
Okay, next one is Typhoon Tavi. She'll carry 60.5 kilos with Talia Fenland's 2 kilo claim. She's drawn barrier 7. She's paying $6.50 to win and $2.40 for the place. She's also first up after stringing 3 wins together last preparation. Has some heavy track form from a few seasons ago. Yeah,
she does. I think she's better on better ground. She'll run an 8 or better as well, but she'll certainly be better as the ground improves. She'll race forward to the speed. On wetter ground, as opposed to better ground, I do worry about her blowing out late, but she'll improve significantly off it. We've seen that last prep. She got beat that first up run, knocked up, and then come out and had a really good summer prep, or had really good winter prep under her belt. And I think she'll do similar here. So the ground's going to be the key to her.
Okay, next one is Arisphere. She'll carry 58 kilos. Angela Jones rides barrier 3. We've drawn some good barriers for a change.
Yeah.
She's paying $5.50 to win and $2.20 for the place. Has had 5 runs this preparation for 4 wins and a close second. Yet to win at Doomben or past the 1,000, but she's got a really good draw.
Good draw, handles the ground beautifully. Good mare in form. Just gets maps to get a lovely run here. You know, you're going to have a bit of pressure on this race. She'll just find the back of that speed. She'll be somewhere just outside or inside Skirt the Law, somewhere around her, just on the back of the speed. Gee, she looks a good chance. I never would have thought I'd be tipping Arisphere to be beating a horse like Skirt the Law. I'm not saying that she will, because Skirt's definitely got the class. But she's just, when you get those mares in form, they just can keep sneaking through the grades. She deserves a chance in this, and she loves wet ground, so she's a really good hope.
Okay, next one is Give Giggles. She'll carry 58 kilos. Jimmy Orman rides barrier 13. Give Giggles is paying $7 to win and $2.50 for the place. She was unplaced last time out at her second start for our stable. Has gone back to the trial since and looked pretty good under no pressure.
Yeah, she did. Both their trials have been on soft ground, and she's trialled really well. Turning track, soft ground. Her races have both been at Eagle Farm on good ground, and she hasn't finished her races off. So maybe the sting out of the ground on the turning track is obviously the key to her. So the barrier I hate. I really hate the gate. I just don't know where she lobs there. She probably has to lob outside lead or 1-1, but it is messy. So whether she runs Saturday or next Wednesday, I'm not sure. But I do think you'll see her improve significantly when they're stinging out of the ground on a turning track.
Okay, and the last one we'll talk about is Instagood. She'll carry 55.5 kilos. Robbie Dolan takes the ride from barrier 1. She's paying $5.50 to win and $2.20 for the place. Yet to place at Doomben in 4 starts. And up against some good opposition here, but she did win on a heavy 2 starts ago and is drawn to get a pretty good run.
Yeah, that Doomben record's a bit misleading. A few of those have been at 1,200, and then she got sort of murdered the other day where she should have finished a lot closer, and she still closed the race off beautifully. So I'd be ignoring the Doomben record. I think that low draw is what's very important to her. She lobs on the back of Skirt the Law Arisphere. I think she just gets a magic run. Those two mares will take her everywhere she needs to go, and with the weight pull, she gets a chance to get at them. As you see with these 5 mares in this race, there's $1.50 separating them in the market. Who do I choose out of them? I'm not going to go past Skirt the Law, because I think she's obviously the quality horse. A little bit of fitness to come on shore, and if the track is it still stays in that heavy range, she is going to be a little bit tested on that ground. So, but I'm not going to tip past her. If I was going to look past her, I'd maybe be leaning towards Arisphere.
Okay.
Instagood, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's a very interesting race. We've got a stranglehold on the market.
I think so. Okay, Raceday is the listed Tattersall's Classic for the fillies and mares over the 1200 metres, a race you've won 4 times with Not On Your Life, Need Orb, Miami Flies and Comrade Rosa. We've got 2 in it this year. First one we'll talk about is Black On Beauty. She'll carry 55.5 kilos. Angela Jones rides Barrier 2. She's paying $12 to win and $3.40 for the place. She is first up on Saturday and does have a very good first up record with winning 3 from 5. Doesn't mind it heavy or soft either, and did impress in her most recent jump out.
Yeah, ground suit, she'll bounce, she'll race forward to the speed. There's still have a few friends there. You got Party for 2 and Hook Along and things like that, but well, she'll make it uncomfortable for them. She likes to roll up on tempo, loves getting her toe into the ground. She'll give a really good kick. If she blows out the last 50, I won't be totally shocked. But in saying that, everything I see back on her from her gallops and her data off the gallops indicates she's up where she needs to be. So, and she couldn't look any better. She's as well prepared, fresh up as what I've had her. And I think she finds a race that she should be ultra competitive in.
Okay, the other one we have is Saltaire. She'll carry 55.5 kilos. Robbie Dolan rides Barrier 4. She's paying $9 to win and $2.80 for the place. She's a multiple group perform mare, second up for the stable. Was strong late for second, first up at Doomben, and then went back to the trials last week, winning on a heavy track.
Yep, trial well on the heavy. Had a great turn of foot on it in the trial. Just sat back off, and Ange rode her, and as soon as she asked her to quick, and she just exploded. She really went quick, and what the good thing about her in this year is that low draw, she'll just lob midfield on the fence, go to sleep. The harder they want to go up front, the quicker she'll get over the top of them. I think she's both these mares are a really good chance in the race, and they both profile very similar to some of the mares you spoke about previously I've won this race with. So I'm a little bit surprised at their price. Okay. I think I'd be shocked if these 2 aren't in the finish of this race.
Okay, we go to race 9, which is the Colts, Geldings and Enties benchmark 78 handicap over the 1110 metres. 2 runners. Bossed Up is the first one we'll talk about. 55.5 kilos with Kyle Wilson-Taylor, Barrier 7. He's paying $4.80 to win and $2 for the place. He's second up, flew home for a close second, first up at Toowoomba on a heavy track, and has been to the jump outs after a short let up.
Yeah, he has. He needed that. He had a little setback, which was only minimal. He had a good blowout at the jump outs the other day. His work since has improved out of sight. He's really up to the mark. The low draw helps him. He just lobs, and he finds a midfield spot here. He really lost his spot early at Toowoomba. He dicked around coming out the gate to end up right back, having to make a long, sustained, wide run. A repeat of that performance has him in this. He always runs well off good draws, this horse, when he can just smother up third pair. He's going to get that exact right run. He'll run really well, and he can handle cutting the ground.
The second runner we have is Busting, 55.5 kilos, Angela Jones on board, Barrier 1. He's paying $4 to win and $1.80 for the place. He is second up after a long layoff, was very good at his last start, strong to the line to just miss by over a length with a big weight.
He was good. He had, his run was probably the run of the meeting the other day. He had to go. We went back on him from the wide draw, just relax and run on, and he just steamed to the line. He'll race much closer here. He'll just jump and, well, he can lead if you want him to. He'll just jump and sit on the back of the speed, get a beautiful run, off he goes. The query with him is if we get him right in the heavy range, I'm not got no concerns like soft to a heavy 8 with him.
Okay.
My concerns would be if the track was any worse, but geez, he looks hard to beat. He's a really good horse, this horse. I think he's a really nice horse. I think so. I think they're both really impressive horses. The problem with is with Bossed Up is he just can get himself worked up and a little bit too hot, where Busting's just a real racehorse these days. He's furnished. He had a long time off with a big setback, and he's just furnished into a beautiful animal. He's always shown me well above average ability. So both nice horses, probably got Busting just on top.
Okay, we go to race 10 now, which is the benchmark 78 handicap over the 1350 metres, and we have Brentwood, who's been waiting patiently behind us for the whole show. He'll carry 58 kilos with Jimmy Orman on board, barrier 8. He's paying $19 to win and $5 for the place. He's been a bit disappointing in his 3 runs this preparation. Last start over the same track and trip, but you've changed a few things up on him to try and get him back on track.
Yeah, I have. I haven't been happy with how he's been pulling up from the race. He's having really big blows and wasn't happy with his fitness. We just altered a few things around with him, his work, his diet, the touch, and I think he's stripped a lot fitter. He looks absolutely magnificent going into this, and he's very good with cutting the ground. He's one of the few Vinnies that's won on soft to heavy, so he loves the ground. He'll race forward to the speed. Orman's a key booking for him. His best runs are when Jimmy rides him, and it's good to have him on board. I think he leads or he rolls forward.
Okay.
I think you see a big improvement from him.
Okay. Going to the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chances at Doomben on Saturday?
I've got a stack of good chances.
Yep.
I'm going to give you 2. I think I'll start the meeting off with a bang. I think Lbaboom will win and Torabella will win early. Races 1-2.
Yep.
And then you can stick with us all day.
Okay, fair enough. You do like starting off well early, don't you?
I do, yeah. If I start well early, we tend to continue. We can flow onto the day pretty nicely.
Yeah. Your best each way chance?
Each way is a bit tricky. If you think Skirt the Law's each way price, I don't see her missing the top 3, but we really got to see where this track's at is the problem.
Yeah.
I could go further afield. I could certainly see Saltaire running top 3, and I could see Brentwood running top 3, because I think he gets the right run in this race, and they'll possibly lead him for a bit, and he loves the ground.
Yeah.
So there's a few each way hopes there. Sort of you can mix and match with them if you like, but that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, your best at the provincials. We've got the Sunny Coast and the Gold Coast and Toowoomba.
Yeah, it's a bit messier there because of the tracks. I don't know what we're going to deal with there. Sort of 11 Black. Geez, he nearly won the other day.
Yeah.
Surely he wins at the Toowoomba. We've got a few good chances up there. I'm going to sit on the fence with the provincials. I just don't know where the track's going. We've got a few on the poly, which I'm not a big fan of, but they have been trained down there and got used to it. And in times like this, we've got to get horses to the races. So that's an added advantage of having the stable down there, I guess. So we've got good chances at the provincials over the 2 days. There's some interesting races. That Sunshine Coast meeting's come up a lot stronger for that Wednesday meeting being off. There's a few of those horses in the 68 up there, which has become a bloody good race. And there's just a few I don't know will handle the wet ground. So I'm a bit all over the place with the provincials. But as usual, we're hard to beat there.
Okay, a couple to Black Book from the trials on Tuesday. We had 40 go around. Surely you can find one.
Oh, there's a few. I mean, High Barbie, I mean, everyone's talking about her. Lockyer, good colt. A couple of nice 2-year-olds. Midnight Spirit, really nice horse. There's 3 2-year-olds you'll see come out in the next month and do jobs. I guess of the older horses, Hidden Wealth, Zarastro. They're all on target for the George Moore next week. Bezique was brilliant for the Bribey the week after. You can see our summer carnival team. We probably haven't had them up and ready as quickly as what I have had previous summers, but you can see off the trials where the stable's heading over the next month, and hopefully that's very fruitful for us come to those 2 big weeks of Magic Millions, the 4th and the 11th. So a lot of these horses are Magic Millions eligible, and we want to be a real force on those 2 big weeks.
Okay, your best track worker this week?
Well, we only had the dirt Tuesdays. We have had an awful amount of rain. It was pretty hard to go past Skirt the Law. She worked really good in company. I know Andrew and Matty up there watching me track with me are pretty keen on old Brentwood here behind me, and he is a pretty impressive worker, so they might be a bit hoodwinked off him, but I'm not sure. But I thought Skirty was great. She worked up really nicely. She's just full of running the whole way, and her recovery was terrific. So none worked much better than her. Lbaboom was bloody sharp.
Okay, cool. Your winner for the week?
Well, and really only Transatlantic. There was another one of the midweeks there, but Transatlantic's the main one. And I went there thinking he was my best chance last Saturday, and particularly as the ground got in. I didn't know about the heavy. I was really happy with him on really good soft ground. I think that track only played just into a heavy 8 range, and geez, he demoralised them in what was a good quality. And I was only in class 3, but it was a decent race, and he made them look second rate.
Okay, now it is time for Cav's Corner, which is supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. He got his first leg last week with Transatlantic winning, but poor old Natuno had to carry way too much weight with Cav on his back in the Swiss Ace, and it just proved a little bit too much for him. Let's find out what his multi is this week.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. This week we'll venture to Doomben. We'll go Instagood a win, into Saltaire a win. Good punting, guys.
So he's gone Instagood a win, into Saltaire win. He is sticking with his win-win. I'm surprised he's not going chucking a place in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go place there. That's quite a good place multi. That you mightn't get the value off it, but I'd be definitely looking at that place. For me, that's not a bad multi, but it's place for me. I think they're two deep races, obviously both those, and I'd be going place. Last week he was a bit unlucky. I may have erred with the instructions on Natuno. I think Natuno's a better horse when he can get outside horses. Yeah. I don't think he loves racing behind inside. He's half a timid horse, and I don't think you ever seen him really let go of his action there at the Sunshine Coast. He looked like it was just a plain run. I think had he got outside horses and got more room, which is no fault of Jimmy's, we drew low, I think you see a different beast. He's never one you're going to see drive up inside horses and then finish a race off. He's far better when he can be outside and getting over the top of them or in front of them.
Yeah. So Cavs multi.
So Cavs multi, maybe it's a bit of my fault. I probably should have been more specific in my instructions, and I definitely was adamant of that watching that replay of that race.
Okay. Well, good luck on Saturday, Tony. One of the great Tattersall's Racing Club meetings of the year.
Yep, love the Tats Racing Club. It's one of our oldest racing clubs, Tattersall, so it's always great when they're here in Brisbane putting on a big race day. Really want to win this Tats Mares race again, but I'm excited by so many of our horses over this. A lot of these horses will go on to do really good jobs throughout the summer, so it's good to see Skirt the Law back. Love that filly in the first, and Torabella, I think the horse is going somewhere.
Okay, best of luck to everyone over the whole weekend.